Very sad news in the world of the Indiana Fever, the WNBA at large, and Caitlin Clark fans everywhere. It has been announced by the Indiana Fever that she will be out for 2 weeks minimum following a quad strain. Of course, she did sit out a game in preseason, kind of an unspecified leg injury, if I recall correctly. But it was just announced a few minutes ago, and this really stinks on a lot of levels. One, best wishes out to Caitlin. Hope she's all right, makes a full recovery, and hopefully she's not dealing with an injury that could potentially be more serious. Hopefully, it's just rest and recover, and then just roll back out playing strong. Injuries suck. I don't think, it should be cause for rejoice for anybody, Lord forbid. Now I kind of think about how this team is going to move forward in the short term without her. It looks like she's set to miss maybe up to 4 or 5 games. That 2-week timetable is, kind of tricky because it is like a tissue injury, like with a quad. It's not like she sprained her ankle or something like that. So it's like you just got to kind of just chill. So they said they're going to give us more updates as available following her reevaluation. 2 weeks from today would be June 9th. In that time, Indiana Fever will play Washington on Wednesday. They will play the Connecticut Sun. They will also play Washington again. They'll play the Sky on Saturday, June 7th, and then the Dream, they're in Atlanta again, June 10th. So it's 4 or 5 games possibly. Let's say she's good to go. The earliest we could probably expect to see her, I would imagine, would be June 14th against the Liberty, and even then, it all depends on how she responds, if there's not any setbacks or anything that is considered a long-term risk. There was no word on if this was just, her coming up lame when she was running, or if there was any type of contact that caused this or anything. We don't have that information as I put this video out. And man, it's kind of a setback, obviously, for not only Caitlin, like in her MVP aspirations, first team all league aspirations, but the Fever in general. They were about to break towards a favorable, portion of the schedule with Washington, with Chicago, again, with Connecticut. They were going to be able to beat some teams they should beat. And now they're all going to be tougher games, I would imagine. Washington is, not looking like they're a lay down any longer. Marina Mabrey could always get hot for Connecticut. Not too much really worried about the Chicago Sky, but, it depends on that Atlanta Dream game. If she's back on June 10th, I think that Fever fans at large have dodged a bullet with this one. They've got that game that's coming up at Chicago. I believe that's going to be in the United Center. I would imagine that is going to look a lot different now than it would have been. Obviously, cruising to incredible numbers, the biggest arena in the country, will probably not, see the same type of momentum there. But I think for the Fever, this is an opportunity to try to get someone like DeWanna Bonner rolling again. I think Kelsey Mitchell's got to settle in and be less erratic. It's good that Sophie Cunningham is back from her injury, so that'll give them more relief, at the point guard position. And you won't have to rely so much on Sydney Colson, who will probably end up getting some starts just to parse out the rotation, and they'll swing in Sophie to basically take time for her and take time for Kelsey Mitchell. And this is why I think more guard help is definitely needed for the Fever. The second that next spot opens up, I think they need to be looking at a guard. I don't know who's out there, but I would definitely recommend that. Caitlin was kind of going pretty hard the first 4 games of the season, wrote her a decent amount of minutes. She was playing 35 minutes a game, still great numbers, 19 points a game, 9 assists, 6 boards. And she was committing a lot of fouls. So this will give her a chance to probably just, get, some more look at tape, seeing how she could have, even approached these games at a higher level. And, I expect her to come back, ready to go. And this just, it sucks for the momentum of not only the Fever, but the league itself. Obviously, Caitlin's carrying a lot on her shoulders as the big star that is coming to a lot of these buildings, and it's going to be interesting to see how those tickets hold up. I think, we'll get proof of concept in a weird way without her. And I think that Stephanie White has to figure it out now without Caitlin Clark. And that is, looking at this offense, it seems tailor-made for Caitlin Clark to thrive within it. And now it's going to be a lot of asking Aaliyah Boston to, score without that proper space and her elite passer getting her the ball. It's probably going to be more post-up opportunities for her. If it was me, I'd be trying to get this team in the open court as much as possible. Easy baskets. You could turn to Sophie Cunningham as a starter, but again, that would probably throw off their rotations, as Sophie can, sub for a lot of different people. If you're running out there with the ones, it just changes the calculus on that. I know Natasha Howard will be ready to score, so hopefully some of the the veteran additions will come around with their scoring in Bonner and Howard, and that will be able to carry somewhat the weight of Caitlin. Is you can never really replace what Caitlin brings as far as stretching the floor, as far as being a star, as far as getting your buildings lit, as far as just being this phenomenon, right? That's irreplaceable. But what this team can do in the meantime is beat up on the competition that you can handle. I'm not necessarily worried about the Washington Mystics. I'm not necessarily worried about the Connecticut Sun or Chicago Sky. So if you can get two of those games, I feel like you're in good shape. Lord forbid you just lay it down and lose like 4 games or something. Then I think we have something to talk about. Until then, I think it's just send positive energy to Caitlin Clark, hope that she makes a full recovery, and the rest of the season can play out from there. But this will adjust things, so hopefully she can still play between 38 to 40 games still, if she only misses 4 in the best case scenario. So it really won't mess up the awards. We saw Nafisa Collier miss time last year. She still ended up first team all league, but the guard position is a little bit more competitive this year. But I think Caitlin will come back, and she'll be good to go and warm up as the season goes along. So what do you think about this injury? What the Fever can do in the meantime to keep the ball rolling? What do you think the offense kind of needs to start showing? What direction does it need to take? Do you think the buildings and the attendance are going to be affected by this at all? Let me know in the comment section. I'll holler at you guys next time. My name is Rich. This is One Lifetime. Peace.